Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into all this material you sent over about personal branding. Looks like a whole guidebook
Yeah,
packed with advice. So,
that's right.
sounds like you're ready to build a brand that'll really make a statement.
Yeah, it's in this day and age, a strong personal brand can really make all the
For
difference.
sure. So the guide lays out 7 keys to success,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
it all begins with having a super clear brand message and purpose. It even compares it to like the foundation of a house.
Yeah, I think that's a really apt analogy. Like imagine trying to build a house on like shaky ground, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Your brand message is your red rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all about figuring out what you stand for, what makes you unique, and what you bring to the table.
Okay, so it's not about like putting on this fake persona.
Right.
It's more about kind of boiling down who you are and what you're all about.
Exactly. It has to be authentic. Think of it this way. Your brand message is the compass that guides all your actions. It should inform your content, your interactions, even your visual design.
Gotcha. So the guide even suggests like brainstorming a list of words, feelings, visuals that you want people to associate with your brand.
That's a great exercise. It helps you get really specific and create a cohesive brand identity. It's almost like a mood board for your personal brand.
Huh.
A collection of elements that capture its essence.
Like a visual representation.
Exactly.
I like that. And the guide is pretty blunt about what happens if your message isn't clear. It says your audience can see right through it.
Oh, for sure. People are savvy. They can sense when something feels off or inauthentic. A muddled message just makes you blend into the background noise instead of standing out.
Right, you got to stand out.
Mm.
Okay, next up, the guide talks about the importance of figuring out your target audience. It says, trying to appeal to everyone just dilutes your impact, and you end up appealing to no one.
Yeah, that's like a musician trying to play every genre at once. It would be a cacophony. You need to know who you're speaking to, their needs, their aspirations, even their pain points.
Yeah, it even suggests going a step further than just basic demographics, like almost like a psychoanalysis of your audience
Wow.
to really get their motivations and desires.
The deeper your understanding, the better you can connect. It's about speaking directly to their hearts and minds, crafting a message that truly resonates.
So we've got our message, we know our audience.
Mm-hmm.
Now comes the fun part, creating content. The guide says content is king, but it stresses that it's not just about churning out anything and everything.
Exactly. It's about quality over quantity. Your content should align with your brand message and resonate with your target audience. Think of it as a conversation. You want to provide value, spark interest, and maybe even inspire action.
Right. And it can't just be any old content, right? The guide says it needs to be engaging and tailored to the platform you're using. So are we talking stunning visuals, thought-provoking articles, catchy videos?
All of the above. It's about understanding the nuances of each platform and crafting content that stands out in that crowded digital landscape. A beautiful photo might shine on Instagram, but a long-form article might be better suited for LinkedIn.
Right. Different strokes.
Different strokes for different folks, exactly.
Makes sense. The guide also says to stay current with trends in our industries. If you're using outdated references or strategies, you're going to lose your audience pretty quickly.
Staying on top of trends ensures your content remains relevant and positions you as a thought leader. It shows you're engaged in that ongoing conversation within your field.
Right. You're part of the conversation.
Very in the mix.
Exactly.
Mm.
So next, the guide dives into the importance of consistency. And this isn't just about posting regularly. It's about making sure everything feels unified and reliable across the board.
Yeah, consistency breeds trust. It's like a favorite restaurant you go back because you know what to expect. Delicious food, great service, and a familiar atmosphere. Inconsistency, on the other hand, can make you appear amateurish and untrustworthy.
That makes sense. The guide points out that even seemingly small details contribute to this sense of professionalism. So we're talking fonts, color schemes, even the tone of your writing.
Absolutely. Think of it as the finishing touches on a work of art. Visual consistency reinforces your brand identity and makes you instantly recognizable. It's that feeling of, yes, this is your brand.
You know it when you see it.
Exactly. It all boils down to creating a seamless and memorable brand experience. Think of brands you love. They likely have a consistent look and feel and voice that makes them instantly recognizable.
Right, totally. So the guide then dives into something I think is super important, authenticity. It cautions against trying to be just another brand, urging you to let your true self shine through. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a trap that many people fall into. They try to emulate what they see others doing or project an image they think will be successful. But authenticity is magnetic. People are drawn to those who are genuine and true to themselves.
Yeah, no hiding behind generic stock photos or empty slogans, right?
Exactly. Let your personality shine through. Share your story, your struggles, your triumphs. It makes you relatable and helps people connect with you on a deeper level.
Makes you human.
Exactly. Humanizes you.
The guide's next key to success is monitoring. I admit this one sounds a bit less glamorous than like crafting a catchy tagline,
Yeah.
but I can see why it's important.
Yeah, monitoring isn't just about tracking numbers. It's about staying in tune with how your brand is being perceived. Are you reaching the right people? Is your message resonating? Are you achieving your goals? It's like checking your compass to make sure you're still on course.
And if things aren't quite working out, you shouldn't be afraid to make adjustments, right?
Absolutely. The beauty of personal branding is that it's a dynamic process. You can experiment, adapt, and refine your approach as you learn and grow. It's about constantly evolving and staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah, staying nimble. The guide also mentions the importance of keeping a pulse on your industry and competitors. It's like knowing the lay of the land so you can make informed decisions.
Mm-hmm. Staying informed allows you to identify opportunities, differentiate yourself, and adapt to changes in the market. You don't want to be caught off guard by a competitor doing something innovative or missing out on a trend that could benefit your brand.
For sure, for sure. And finally, the guide talks about something that really resonates with me living your brand and building a community around it.
This is where personal branding transcends the digital realm and becomes an integral part of your life. It's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
So it's about more than just networking online. It's about taking your brand into the real world and connecting with people face to face.
Exactly. Attend industry events, collaborate with others, build meaningful relationships. It's about embodying your brand values and making a genuine impact.
Right, like really living it.
Yeah, putting it into practice.
You know, one thing that struck me about the guide is how it compares building a brand to building a house. A strong foundation is essential, but you also need to maintain and adapt to changing circumstances,
That's a powerful metaphor. A brand isn't a static thing you create once and then forget about. It's a living, breathing entity that needs nurturing and attention to thrive.
It's like a garden, right? You have to tend to it, prune it, and give it the right nourishment for it to flourish. You can't just plant a seed and expect it to grow on its own.
Precisely. And just as a garden attracts different creatures, a strong brand attracts a community of like-minded individuals who share your values and interests.
That's a great way to put it. The guide talks about the power of connecting with people who resonate with your brand, both online and offline. It's almost like building a tribe.
It is, yeah. It's about fostering a sense of belonging. When people feel connected to your brand on a deeper level, they become more than just followers or customers. They become advocates who champion your message and help you grow.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from crafting a compelling message to building a thriving community. What are your key takeaways for someone just starting out on their personal branding journey? Where should they focus their energy?
I'd say it all starts with that strong foundation defining your brand message and purpose. Once you know who you are and what you stand for, you can start building everything else around that core.
And it sounds like authenticity is key. Trying to be someone you're not is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, people can spot a phony a mile away.
Right.
Embrace your quirks, share your story, and let your personality shine through. That's what'll make you stand out in a sea of sameness.
Be yourself.
Exactly.
The guide also emphasizes that building a personal brand is a marathon, not a sprint. There are no overnight successes.
Be patient, be persistent, and be willing to adapt along the way.
Yeah.
The journey itself is part of the reward.
That's a good point. It also encourages a mindset of experimentation. Don't be afraid to try new things, see what works best for you.
Totally. What works for one person might not work for another. It's about finding your own unique voice and style.
Right. And celebrate those wins along the way, no matter how small.
Yeah, absolutely.
Each milestone is like proof of your hard work and dedication.
It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of the next big thing, but taking time to acknowledge your progress can fuel your motivation and inspire you to keep going.
Yeah, for sure. As we've been talking, I keep thinking back to that analogy of the house. It's such a powerful image for what we're trying to achieve with personal branding.
Yeah, it really captures the process, doesn't it? Building a strong foundation, carefully constructing each element, and constantly adapting to the changing environment.
Yeah, and it reminds us that A brand isn't just a one-time creation. It's this ongoing process of refinement and growth.
What I find really interesting is the guide also touches on the psychological aspect of personal branding.
Oh, okay.
It encourages you to visualize your ideal brand and then work backward, like identifying the steps needed to bring that vision to life.
It's almost like creating a blueprint,
Exactly.
but for your persona in the professional world.
And just as an architect considers the purpose of a building, you need to consider the purpose of your brand. What impact do you want to make? What legacy do you want to leave?
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. As we wrap things up, what's like one piece of advice you would give to our listener who's eager to make their brand unforgettable?
I would say embrace the journey. Building a personal brand isn't just about achieving a specific outcome. It's about the growth and self-discovery that happen along the way.
Yeah.
It's about becoming the best version of yourself, both personally and professionally.
I love that. So as our listener embarks on this journey, just remember to stay true to your values.
Yeah.
Be bold in your choices and never stop learning and evolving.
Could not have said it better myself.
This deep dive has given you the toolbox full of strategies, but the real magic happens when you put them into action. What resonated most with you? What steps will you take to make your brand truly stand out?